So, actually, my presentation, I like to do more demos, but unfortunately, we don't have much stuff ready in SharePoint. But at the end, I will show you what we currently have. So, in this presentation, I will talk a bit more rather than doing demonstrations. So, actually, what we want to do with SharePoint, that we start off with integrating Marvin and JChem functionality inside SharePoint. At the current point, it means that we built in the Marvin applet as the editor in SharePoint, and we use the .NET-based API to actually access the JChem functionality from ASP.NET, what SharePoint uses for programmability. So, and where we include all this stuff, we use SharePoint's quite powerful built-in features such as lists, collaboration features, the blog, wiki, and discussion board, and custom ASP.NET-based web parts, and later maybe also search, web services, and workflows. So our main goal will be actually to access and manage all research-related data in a single point in a company or in an enterprise, and to make it possible to share it with your colleagues in the work groups. So at the moment and in the initial release, we will have these two features which will the handle and filtering structures and in SharePoint lists. By handle, I mean you will be able to add, edit, and delete structures. And apart from SharePoint lists, also in the collaborational parts of SharePoint, such as blogs, wiki, and discussion boards. We have also many ideas how to further improve features and what else to include in SharePoint. So, for example, I will talk about them in details, so I will just leave them. Calculate structures-based predictions in lists, import from and export to files, charting. We also plan to have a simple database search web parts where you will be able to search JChem cartridge or JChem-based databases. Other chemical tool web parts may be standardizer, structure checker, reactor fragmenter, and maybe if we have other tools in the future, those two. Another interesting area would be if we would be able to actually search for structures in a SharePoint site-wide. So it wouldn't matter whether the structures would be in SharePoint lists, document, forums, discussion boards, whatever. You'll be able to do a substructure search, and it would return basically all the results, no matter where they actually reside in a document or a database or a SharePoint list. We have some other ideas like custom info-bath-based forms where you might be able to use custom business forms in a web environment. And we also plan, for example, Office integration with other Office applications, such as, for example, Microsoft Excel and JChem for Excel inside maybe. And we are also thinking about putting in workflow-based solutions. So maybe if we will have a registration system in the future, I'm not sure about that, Ákos, we could include that into SharePoint because it has a very nice user interface and a very nice system for handling these workflow-based activities. So I will start about explaining about how we put structures into lists actually. So we will have a custom column type, and as I mentioned, you will be able to add, edit, and delete structures in lists. You will be able to link two lists together to handle relational data. We will have three types of these columns. So the first one will be a simple renderer. So if you have existing structural data in SharePoint list, this will be the simplest component. You will be able to render the structured data in SharePoint. You will be able to specify display settings such as what rendering to use, what display options, what you can find in the Marvin View and Marvin Sketch. And you will be able to specify the image size. So the other one will be, which we didn't work on, the Marvin View-based renderer, where you will have basically the Marvin View applets in each list cell. Why we do that? Because with this you can have basically enhanced rendering. You can rotate the structures around. You will be able to copy it to other applications and maybe one day even paste into SharePoint, which is actually not possible with a simple web-based solution. So, and the last one will be a structure editor column type, where you will be actually able to edit the structures with the Marvin Sketch applet. So I just put in some screenshots, but I will show you in the demo anyway. So the calculated field column type would be that in SharePoint actually you are able to specify formulas for certain list columns, but we plan to include actually the structural calculations. So for example, if you have a structure in one list column, you will be able to display calculated structure predictions in other list columns, as for example in Instant JChem or JChem for Excel. And maybe also about not simply string or number-based results, rather than you will be able to display an image or structure, for example, displaying the charges corresponding to a structure. The other web part would be, which I'm going to actually demo at the end, is a structure filter web part. It won't be a final design, so it's only a developer snapshot. We just put some buttons there, so it looks a bit ugly. But the purpose of this, that actually it will be a web part, and with the help of this you will be able to filter other lists and any kind of SharePoint content. So in the initial release we plan to include the filtering for lists and wikis, blogs, or discussion boards which actually contain structures. And you will be able to dynamically link which list you want to filter. So for example, you place there a web part, you will have two other lists, and you can specify which list to filter. You will be able to also to load and save the query criteria, what you specified, and actually look them back in a tabular form. And of course, you will be able to use all the advanced query features what JChem base offers. Actually, it wouldn't be useful, this SharePoint stuff, if you won't be able to import and export data from external applications and file formats. So we will include the import and export of all popular file formats such as SD files, MRV, SMILE strings, and later on we plan to include the import of hierarchical RDF files as well. And we also plan to actually to make the export side of it as well. With the import and export, the initial functionality will only have the possibility actually to import into an existing list where you actually predefine the schema for the list. But later on we will try to actually figure out this type information, but it will be a bit difficult, as Tim mentioned this to me. So they all had these difficulties in Instant JChem as well. So the collaboration features, basically all these three, the blogs, wiki, and discussion boards, they use the same kind of HTML editor provided by Microsoft. So what we will do here, that we actually put in the possibility to add and edit structures as well. So basically the structure will be stored as an image, but in the background we store the corresponding structure string, so you will be able to edit that later on. So that was basically about the SharePoint, and I will show you demonstrations soon. But I would like to say a few words about ASP.NET as well, because related to SharePoint, actually we started to work on a small ASP.NET example that we would like to enhance in the future. So basically you are able to reach this small example under the address, but we will actually publish this information on our website soon as well. I'm going to show you that one as well. It will be actually imitation of the GSP example. It has some limited functionality now, but we will enhance it in the future. We will also provide a starter kit for ASP.NET development. It will be actually an easy-to-use installer. It will include a Microsoft Access or a Microsoft SQL 2008 Express database, so it will install it automatically with a sample database. It will also install all the necessary DLLs under the Internet Information Server and also a Visual Studio solution, so you will be able to play around with the example. Because we had a lot of questions that we didn't publish an ASP.NET example, so how to do stuff on it. So hopefully with this you will be able to get started easily. Okay, I'm going to show you what's available at the moment. So here we have basically a SharePoint site. I will talk about this later, that later in November we will be able to give you an access to this. It is a hosted SharePoint server actually, and you will be able to try out online these examples, what we have. So let's have a look at the simple list. It is basically a simple list containing structures. It's a SharePoint list. So let's click New Item. So it's a bit strange screen resolution here. I'm going to add the fourth structure. Here is the Marvin Applet editor. Click OK. And it is inserted in the list. It is also possible to edit it. Just delete some stuff. So it's edited, and also deleted, which actually puts this item into the recycle bin where you can recover if you feel like. It is actually very easy to set up this SharePoint list. So for example, if you need to quickly record some information for certain structures even into a relational form, I think this kind of list can be set up, for example, in 5 minutes, and you can start editing right away. So next I'm going to show you the molecule filter with some very, very simple examples. So as I mentioned, it's not the final design. We just packed some buttons there. So it has a filter applied. So I'm going to filter that list, what I just edited. Throw structure. And actually it applies the query criteria to the list. And of course, if you have multiple lists, as I mentioned, you will be able to pick which list to filter. You can also specify the search type at the moment. So it's a duplicate search. And later you will be able to specify all the advanced JChem query features as well. And we will work out a nicer design for this filter web part. Okay, so the last demonstration will be actually an addition to an item to the as a wiki page. Basically, a wiki page is a HTML page where you can link all necessary informations to other pages. So I'm going to actually copy the caffeine article from the Wikipedia. Here is the let's copy only this one. And here we actually have a small button, and with this you can inject, draw a structure into a wiki article. I don't know why is this string here, but I will ask my colleague. Oh, I don't know how to draw it, so I'm going to just copy the smile string. What happened? As I mentioned, it's only development snapshot, so we'll have to still be a lot of work with it. Let's try it again. Click OK, and hopefully it inserts the structure with the image here. And then you can save basically the wiki article. You can also edit this inserted image, hopefully. Let's do some transformation. Let's dearomatize. And save back the structure into a wiki page. And then change the image. So that was actually a small demonstration of the SharePoint. So hopefully we will progress this autumn and winter further, and we'll be able to show some more stuff to you. And actually, as I mentioned, we will give access to this hosted SharePoint server, I think around November. So those of you who are interested, maybe we will collect the information and we can give you an access, and we can also give you an access to a whole group. So actually you will be able to try out all the collaborative features of SharePoint. And we also are looking for maybe companies who are willing to actually collaborate with us in this development of SharePoint. So what would be your needs inside SharePoint, what you want to accomplish, and hopefully we will be able to help you with that. And finally, I'm going to show you this small ASP.NET example where what you can reach. You cannot see the bar, but it's asp.net.chemaxon.com. At the moment, it's just a simple substructure search, but later on we will enhance it, and it will have the same features as the JSP example. So here are the results. Okay. So that was all. If anybody has any questions, sorry,
Yes.
Doug, that was.
Do you have any questions on this? I want to thank Tomasz. Just a moment.
Are you using native.net to communicate back to the JChem base, or are you using like web services?
Yes. No, native.net.
Native.
Yes.
Excellent.
For your wiki example, can you currently do the structure filter, like find a wiki page?
Not at the moment, but we are going to work on it. So if you have more wiki articles, what we are planning to do that it will search through the wiki and maybe highlight even the structures. So if you have more structures inside a wiki article, we will do some kind of heat coloring or highlighting, whatever we will figure out. So actually we haven't really thought about it, how it would look, but actually if you have an idea or a requirement, we are welcome to hear that, so we would like to hear that as well.
If I take a guess, the actual structure for the wiki page actually stored in a centralized table, right?
Yes. It's so actually
you can
SharePoint
just-
stores all the data in SQL Server, so everything is stored there. You can specify external binary storages, but anyway, it's SharePoint's job actually to store this information.
Other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.